am Cynthia. It is great to see you all. I'm using a little cushion to sit on this morning, and I have a block for my practice. If you don't have a block, you can always stack a couple of books. It'll be somewhat optional, but extremely useful to have. Come into any kind of comfortable seated position that your body feels good to hang out in for a few minutes. Feeling a kind of settling down of your upper leg bones and noticing a lift, a length through your spine. Close your eyes and begin to draw your attention into your body and down. Feeling a spaciousness expanding across the front of your chest. And we're going to work a very specific breathing pattern today, if you choose to. These are always just suggestions. So go with what works for you. But if you'd like to mix it up and deepen your practice, we're going to get into an Uddiyana Bandha today. Let your breath move in through your nose and out through your nose. And begin to create that soft whispering of a sound at the base of your throat, which helps to elongate the breath, and it also helps to anchor that tidal rhythmic quality in the body. Just take one or two more rounds like this. A soft, sweet Ujjayi breath. And the next time that you inhale that breath all the way in, find a little pause where your breath is full. A light holding in that. This first time, open your mouth and let your breath out. And feel your low belly gently squeezing back and up. And then relax that through your nose, inhale your breath in, and find that little pause again. In yoga, this is called Antara, Kumbhaka, where you're holding the fullness of your breath. This time through your nose, exhale your breath out, find that elongated exhalation. We'll do that just 2 more times. Inhaling, pause, not to a point of discomfort. Keep your shoulders soft. Keep your neck spacious. And exhaling completely. And one more, inhale. Light pause, feeling the fullness of your chest, front, sides, and back. Exhale. And to that, we'll begin to draw the low navel back and up at the base of the next exhalation. So inhale, pause. And as you exhale, really feel your diaphragm moving up towards your heart. So squeeze your breath back like these 2 great wings of a bird at your diaphragm, flying upward. Feel your low belly toning up, as though the pubic bone could move toward the belly button. Relax that action and inhale your breath all the way in. Pause, Antara Kumbhaka. Through the nose, long exhalation, but really feel for that excavation at the bottom of your exhalation so that you can fly your diaphragm upward. You can gently pull your low navel upward. Do that again, inhale. You might even notice that on this exhalation, when you really squeeze everything out, not only does the deep belly start to draw up toward the heart, but you might actually notice your pelvic floor toning, engaging, and drawing upward as well. Become aware of that. Keep your thigh bones heavy and see if you can do that one more time. Open your eyes. Release that. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Bend your left elbow and take a hold of your elbow with your right hand so you can gently turn your elbow in toward your body. Inhale, lift through the left side, and as you exhale, start to rotate a little bit to the right. Feeling this lift into that left elbow. As you exhale, stay rotated, but drop your hand so your left hand comes to the outside of your right knee and your right hand comes behind you. Hold your twist. Exhale, drawing your low belly back and up. Again, there's that lifting upward toward the heart. Then picking both sets of knees up, bring your right hand around into the outside of your left knee. And as you inhale, round your back, drop your chin. And as you exhale, squeeze your knees toward the earth, pulling your head forward, pulling your chest forward. Send your sternum back. You'll stay here for your breath in. Find that Antara Kumbhaka. Maybe even squeeze your chin a little bit toward your chest. And now, like you're blowing out a candle, open your mouth a little bit. Pulling the exhalation to empty. Draw your low belly back and up. Relax that. Slowly unwind. Change the cross of your legs. And as you inhale, sweep your arms up again. Go for this lift. Bend your right elbow. Take a hold of your elbow with your left hand and turn it toward you. Feeling the stretch up through the right side of your body, inhale. And as you exhale, begin to twist. And it really, that light lift of Uddiyana Bandha helps to twist us. Helps to draw up the front abdominals. Deepening and toting toward the spine. You'll release your hands, right hand to the outer knee, left hand behind you. Feeling for this lengthening rotation. Pick up your knees a little bit so that you can sweep your left hand around to the outside of your right knee. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, keep your tailbone planted, but tug your knees toward the earth, dropping your head forward. Full breath in, light Antara Kumbhaka, optional to drop chin toward the throat more. Like you're blowing out a little candle through your mouth. Draw your low belly back and up. You'll feel your low back stretch. You might even feel your neck stretch. Slowly release that. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. And this time as you exhale, just take your fingertips out in front of you. And we'll do a slightly more proper Uddiyana Bandha here. So you're leaning forward into your seat. Take a full breath in until your spine is straight. Head over the heart. And again, blowing out that imaginary candle, little round through the mouth. Pull your low belly back and up when you're empty. And really feel a hollowing at the upper belly. Relax that. Do that 2 more times. Inhale. Spine straight. Through the mouth. Belly back and up. As though the pubic bone could move toward the navel, but you're really thinking of hollowing out under the rib cage. Relax that. 1 more time. Inhale, spine straight. Through the mouth. Pull your belly back and up. Relax. Inhale, bring yourself up. And as you exhale, come off of your setup, come off of your cushion or whatever it is you had underneath you, and release toward the top of your mat, coming onto your hands and knees. So spread your fingers wide, and I like to point my thumbs just a little bit forward to open up my inner wrist. Set your knees underneath your hips and point your toes straight back. Find this length through the top of your head. And feel how just even here, that deep connection to the belly has already woken up the stability as you face the earth. Start to bend your elbows a tiny amount. Pick up the base of the thumb and pointer finger so you can exaggerate this roll of your triceps back. And with your pinky finger pad, pull the ground toward your knees. Take a breath in. Feel for that same length at your spine. And as you exhale, press into the tops of your feet. And it's a very gentle lift now at the low belly. Gently moving the deep abdominals back and up toward the heart. Slowly let the pointer finger and thumb root into the earth as you straighten your arms, continuing to wrap your triceps back. Bringing yourself forward. As you exhale, press into the tops of your feet. Start to soften your belly toward the earth and inhale, coming up into a cat-cow. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, arch your back, pulling pinky finger pad toward the knees. Exhale, squeeze pubic bone toward navel and feel for that same lifting at the deep abdominals toward the heart. 2 more times, inhaling to arch, exhaling to round. Inhale, arch, heart lifts through the arms. Exhale, round. Coming back to center, tuck your toes under and start to lift into a brief downward facing dog so your inner thighs can draw lightly back. Maybe your feet need to separate a little wider than your hips to give extra space to your hamstrings. Continue to wrap your triceps toward the earth and gently pull your hands toward your feet, but stay rooted at the pointer finger knuckle now. As you inhale, center your left foot a little bit and take your right leg back and up. Start to bend your right knee and open your hip as though you could click your right heel into your sitting bone, press your thigh bone back, and direct your tailbone toward the back of your right knee. So it's a lift at the tailbone, back and up. Straighten your right leg, square off your hip, and pick up your back heel. Step your right foot between your hands, lower your back knee to the earth, and point your toes. As you inhale, lift up through your spine, stay forward, spine is almost touching the right thigh. Press into your back foot, and as you exhale, slowly start to drop your head, little by little, until your chin begins to meet your chest. It may not get all the way there, but you're feeling a deepening of the stretch at the back hip flexor on the left side as your head gets heavier and heavier. Squeeze your front heel toward the back of your mat and squeeze your back knee toward the front of your mat. Take 1 more breath like this. Maybe hold your breath for a moment. And as you exhale, deep belly back and up, bring your hands to your front thigh. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Bend your left elbow, take a hold of your elbow with your right hand, and as you lift a little higher, spin the elbow toward the front of the mat. Lift even more into the left side and start to tip a little bit to the right. Just a small tip to the right. Drive your tailbone into your body. Inhale, come back up. As you exhale, release your left hand to the earth, tuck your back toes under, and open into a twist. Reach your right arm up toward the sky. Stay here to exhale. Feel your low belly moving back and up. And in that space, can you move your right sitting bone more to the midline? Release your right fingertips to the earth. Plant your hands down, step to plank pose. Pulling your hands toward your toes, take your head right in line with your heart, and then press to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward into plank pose. Hands pull energetically toward the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift to plank pose. Optional to just go back and forth with the arms straight, or you can bend your elbows, finding a half chaturanga. It's not all the way. Push up, downward facing dog. A couple more times like that. So we're going to be punctuating here a little bit of chaturanga action, but it's a pulling of the hands back, and then your elbows will only bend so far that you can maintain the hand squeezing back toward the toes and the top of your head reaching forward and away from your tailbone. Let's do that 1 more time. Shifting forward. It can be a 1/2 inch bend. pressing up and coming back. Center your right foot and take your left leg up. Bend your knee, open your hip, and try to click your left heel into your left sitting bone as you squeeze your thigh bone back, tip your tailbone up. A little bit of a sandwich action there. So the back line of the body is moving forward and the front line of the body is moving back. Straighten your left leg, square off your hip and pick up your back heel. Then step your left foot forward, come onto your fingertips, pause. Lowering your back knee, point your toes. Your spine is forward, your fingertips are on the ground, and you can start to push into the back foot. Then slowly, slowly bring your head down, letting your chin move toward your heart, toward your sternum. Feeling a gentle opening across the back of your neck. And noticing how that will also open the right hip flexor. Squeeze your left heel back, squeeze your right knee forward. Take another breath in. See if you can hold your breath for a moment. Light hold at the back. And as you exhale, belly button back and up, Uddiyana Bandha. That's going to deepen it even more. Hands to your front knee. Inhale, sweep your arms up toward the sky. Bend your right elbow and then turn your elbow in toward the midline. As you press your elbow up, dive your tailbone forward, pubic bone toward the sky, and then lean a little to the left. One more breath in. As you exhale, release your right hand to the ground, tuck your back toes under, and inhale up into a twist. Find another opening breath. Exhale, left hand to the earth, step to plank pose. Pull your hands toward your toes, top of your head forward. Push to downward facing dog. 3 times. Inhale, shift forward. Bend the elbows, pulling palms back. Can you root into your pointer finger knuckle? Press up and draw back. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend. Press up and draw back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, maybe you can't even see the bend, it's so tiny. You're thinking of the length of your spine supported no matter how much you bend. So the inner shoulder heads broaden. Press up, draw back. Lower your knees to the earth. Point your toes again. As you inhale, find 1 cat-cow. Exhale, round your spine. Cross your ankles in your rounded spine and send your hips back until you're forward and upright. Inhale into your seated position. As you exhale, take your legs out in front of you and start to round all the way down to the ground. Directing your tailbone towards your heels, set your feet onto the earth and interlace your hands behind your head. Inhale here. Just one time before we go anywhere, find a little bit of Uddiyana Bandha, squeezing that low belly back and up. Not down to the ground, but up toward the heart. Then take a breath in and follow that action to lift and curl your head and chest forward. Inhale and exhale, twist to the left. Press your right hip down. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hip down. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, twist to the right. And we'll go back and forth a few times, waiting for the breath to guide the movement and allowing your breath to be so curious that you can really feel that bottom range of the exhalation holding you and supporting you in that flying upward lock of the deep diaphragm. And what it does to all of the pieces below it. The organs of digestion and elimination, the deep muscles at the pelvis and core, maybe even the pelvic floor. Let's do this one more time to each side. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. We're not lowering. Come back to center and squeeze a little forward. Then take your hands forward, bring your knees up in line with your hips, and catch a hold of your shins. And with your hands on your shins, pull yourself a little higher. You'll stay lifted, inhale. Little burst of the exhalation, feet forward, arms back. Inhale, hands to the shins, tug yourself up a little higher. Exhale, burst the feet forward and the arms back. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift a little higher. Remember, belly back and up as you reach long. Inhale, hands to shins, pull up and forward. Exhale, get long. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift up and hold. Hold here. Draw your low belly back and up. And then lower your head to the ground and hug your knees into your body. If you're trying to release your low back a little bit, you can squeeze your knees toward your chest, maybe even finding a little pump of the knees forward and then back in. Forward and back in. The next time your knees are over your hips, keep them like that. Come back into that tabletop with your legs and bring your hands to your knees. So we're used to doing this exercise moving, but today we're going to do this deep core exercise without any movement at the limbs. At least not reaching the limbs, right? So press your hands and your knees together. Take a breath in and find a light, soft Antara Kumbhaka. Shoulders are on the ground. And then a light opening of the mouth. Draw your belly back and up, squeezing the hands and the knees together a little more. Soften that. Separate your knees as wide as your hips. Take a breath in. Light hold. Through the mouth. Pushing hands and knees together. Soften. Separate your knees a little wider than your hips. Breath in. Light hold, neck soft. Hands and knees push. Soften. Knees as wide as the mat, maybe a tiny bit wider. Inhale. Through the mouth, little O. Knees and hands push together. Soften. Go as wide as you can with your knees. Inhale. Through the mouth, Uddiyana Bandha. Hands and knees push. Come back in an inch or two to that outer hip range. Inhale. Soft. Blowing it out. Squeeze, push. Push hand and knees together. Soften. Lower the knees a little bit toward each other. Inhale. Squeeze, squeeze. Soften. One more time. Knees are about hip width apart. Inhale. Squeeze. Set your feet onto the earth. Release your hands to the ground, and as you press your arm bones into the ground, lift into bridge pose. So any work in the psoas gets to be lifted, stretched, and expanded. Tip your tailbone a little higher up. As you inhale, start to lift your sternum to your chin. And feel that pause of energy at the heart. As you exhale, soften the sternum a little bit so there's that spaciousness, that open channel at your throat. And do it again. Inhale, lift your sternum a little bit more as though the very top of your rib cage could come up and off the ground. As you exhale, soften a little bit. Pull your heels toward your shoulder heads and lower down to the ground. You can take this exact same bridge pose that you just did and lift right back up. If you want to pick it up a notch, walk your legs together so your knees touch, your feet touch, and then try bridge pose this way with the legs together. Breath in, little lift at the sternum, a little softening at the sternum. Exhale, tailbone moves up and into the body. One more, inhale. Exhale. Slowly lower down. If your legs were together and that was just hard enough, stay there. If you need to separate your feet hip width, do that. Otherwise, inhale, we'll make this a moving practice. Lift up into your legs together bridge pose. And as you inhale, sternum will lift and the knees will separate. And as you exhale, the knees will close and squeeze. You'll feel a lightening up at the heart. Inhale, sternum up, knees out. Exhale, close the knees. Feel that softening at the back. Inhale, knees apart. And when I say softening at the back, I really mean the back of the heart, right? Because of course the backs of the hips, the legs, the glutes are working a lot here. But you're feeling the response higher up the chain. 2 more like this. So there's that inhalation to feel the sternum rise and that exhalation to soften the back of the heart a little notch. Inhale out, exhale, squeeze. Lower your hips to the ground. Take your time, bring your hands to your knees, and if you can, slowly knees into the chest. Maybe they go away, maybe they pull in a couple of times. And then as you squeeze your knees in, curl up into a little ball. Cross your left ankle over your right ankle so you can roll forward again onto your hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide, pull your hands back, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog, draw up and back. Inhale, shift forward to plank pose, chaturanga, a little or a lot. Push up, draw back. Inhale, shift forward, adding the bent elbows to squeeze. Lift, draw back. One more time. Shifting forward, little bend, press up, draw back. Center your left foot. Take your right leg up, bend your knee and open your hip. Thigh bone draws back, tailbone draws forward. Straighten your right leg, inhale, square off your hips. This time as you exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So your right toes point out. The knee turns a little out. Lower your back knee to the earth and point your back toes. Right thigh is turned out. As you exhale, again, start to drop your head toward the earth. Point your left toes, your back toes straight back and push into the top of the foot. Inhale, lift up your heart, tuck your back toes under, pick up your back knee, and slowly, left hand can be down or maybe even down and a little to the left. Take your right arm up and open into a slightly more generous twist here. Draw your low belly back and up, and squeeze both of your feet toward the midline, toward each other. As you exhale, bring your right hand down so your right toes are turned out. Center your left hand and step your left foot to the outside of your left hand so that the toes are pointed out. As you inhale, lift up halfway, spine is parallel to the ground. And as you exhale, there's a sense of pulling the ground between the heels to send your heart forward. Turn your toes in, straighten your legs, and fold. So I'm going to do this a little bit facing you. As you inhale, straight spine, rise all the way up. As you exhale, a little bit of footwork, turn your toes out, your heels in, and come into a squat. Fingertips to the earth. Inhale, hips in line with knees, heart forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, toes spin in. Lift your hips, drop your head. Inhale, rise all the way up. Toes spin out. Exhale, squat. Hands down, hips in line with knees, spine parallel to the floor, inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana, toes spin in, straighten your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Toes out, heels in, exhale, squat. Hands down, inhale, long spine. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale a little bit quicker on the breath, squeeze. Inhale, halfway up, heels kick back. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, rise up. Toes out, heels in. Exhale, squat. Hands down, hips in line with knees. Inhale, really feel the fingertips pulling back. Exhale, spin the toes in, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. 2 more. Exhale, Malasana. Inhale, half Malasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Malasana. Half Malasana, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. All the way up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Come up halfway, stretch into the heart. Step to plank pose, pull your hands toward your toes energetically. Little chaturanga, press up, draw back. Shift forward, inhale. So you might feel that since your spine is stabilizing ever more through the breath, that maybe your shoulders can lower just a tiny bit more, but they stay broad. They don't collapse toward the ground. Walk your right foot a little in, take your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Thigh bone draws back, tailbone draws forward. Straighten your left leg, square it off. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, the toes point out, the heel is turned in, and then the right knee comes down, point the toes. Come up onto your fingertips, take a breath. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly bring your chin toward your throat. Soften your shoulder heads away from your ears. Go very slowly here when you're feeling, it's not just the neck, right? But it's how the top of the spine relates to the bottom of the spine. Pressing the fingertips lightly back. Inhale, lift up your heart, tuck your back toes under and straighten the back knee. Take your right hand just a little bit to the right and sweep your left arm up, opening your twist. The belly is nice and broad. And even though the left knee is turned out to look at those open toes, there's a sense of pulling the feet toward each other. Bring your left hand down, center your right hand. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, toes point out. Come into that halfway Malasana. Stay there and pull your fingertips toward the back of your mat. Stretching your heart forward. Now start to soften your toes and kick your shin bones energetically back. Take a full breath in, little hold. And as you exhale, the energy of Uddiyana Bandha, belly button toward the heart. Do that one more time. So you're not moving your spine, it stays straight. Inhale. Without rounding. Take your arms forward to frame your ears. Drag your heels energetically back. Then tip your spine a little up until you're just about in a chair pose spine. Drive into your heels, lift up. Hands to heart, Malasana. Half Malasana, inhale. Uttanasana, wide, toes spin in, exhale. Inhale, rise up. Toes out, Malasana. Ardha Malasana, inhale. Toes in, exhale. One more time, inhale, sweep up. Turn out, Malasana. Ardha Malasana, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. Rise all the way up. Walk your feet together. Exhale, fold forward. Lifting up halfway. We're changing it up. Step to plank pose, pause. This time, if you need your knees on the ground, place them on the ground. Otherwise, we're going to lower slowly with our straight spine all the way to the earth. Can you use a count of 5 to get down? 3, 4, hover. 5, point your toes. Take your hands a little bit forward of your shoulders and come into a soft cobra pose. Inhale here. Tailbone drives into the earth, heart up. Exhale, pull the ground toward you to lower. 2 more. Inhale, tailbone into the body. Feet press, lift up. Exhale, pubic bone to navel, lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, pubic bone to navel, lower. Inhale, rise up enough to get your forearms on the ground, Sphinx pose. Widen across your shoulder heads and pull your elbows back. There's that same action of squeezing the arms back. Get your head over your heart, draw your tailbone down, and then slowly turn to look over your right shoulder. Very slow. Send your left shoulder head back, as though the right ear could listen to the same place behind the heart as that left shoulder head. And then slowly look forward. Press your right shoulder head back as you slowly turn to look left. Left ear draws back, right elbow squeezes back. Breath in, breath out. Slowly look forward. Have your head in line with your heart and pick your elbows up an inch. Now you can really feel your hands pulling back towards your body. Can you keep your head exactly where it is and look forward? And then as you exhale, without lowering your head even a tiny amount, can you squeeze your elbows toward the earth? You have to resist your head up to get the elbows down. Do that again. Inhale, lift up your elbows. Pull your hands energetically toward you. And then exhale as your elbows lower, your head lifts. Inhale, pick up your elbows. Exhale, fan your elbows out and release. Place your head on your hands, interlacing your hands, and separate your feet as wide as your mat. So draw your tailbone down, down, down to the earth and feel the engagement of your lower glutes. Then bend your knees and click your heels together. Squeeze your heels together like you're holding something there. And drop your tailbone more. Now, if your pubic bone is kind of sensitive, you may not go any further than this. You might just feel your tailbone squeezing between the knees. If you can keep your shoulders soft and really only lift your legs from the upper leg bone by engaging your glutes more, then see if you can pick up your feet an inch or two, squeezing your thighs off the earth. Now kick your heels into each other a little more. And as you exhale, lower the thighs. As you inhale, again, maybe you're choosing to stay on the ground to protect something. Maybe you're choosing to lift, maintaining the length of your low back. Squeeze your heels together. Push the thigh bones up. One more breath. Tailbone back. Exhale, lower. Straighten your legs. Walk your feet to hip width apart. Point your right toes, tuck your left toes under. And now you can really feel the back of that leg as you squeeze your left heel back. Curl your pubic bone towards your navel and turn your left inner thigh a little bit toward the sky. Then change sides. Point your left toes, tuck your right toes under. Your legs are parallel. Straighten your right leg and squeeze your right heel back. Pubic bone to navel, inner right thigh to the sky. Back of the leg, active. Release, point your toes. Bring your hands by your rib cage and pick your head up just a little bit. So with your hands, pull back, especially from that pinky finger side. Then tuck both sets of toes under. Spin the inner thighs up and draw your tailbone back. You've worked your glutes, you know where they are. Squeeze into your hands, hover chaturanga. Slowly press to plank pose and draw back to downward facing dog. Breath in. Open your mouth, let it out. Center your left foot. Take your right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Click heel in, thigh bone back. Pick up your left heel, straighten the right leg, square it off. Step your right foot forward. This time spin your back heel to the ground. And as you inhale, rise up into a warrior one. turn the back inner thigh back. So spiral the left inner thigh back. And then again, draw your tailbone down. So you can feel that same active quality at the back of your left leg. Push a little more into the outer edge of the foot. Bend your left elbow and lightly spin the elbow toward the midline, pressing your elbow up. As you exhale, come forward halfway, and then slowly bring your left hand to the earth, spin the back heel up, and open into a twist. Arms wide. Exhale, right hand to the ground, plank pose. Chaturanga, maybe pushing up and going back, or maybe coming into upward facing dog now. Draw your shoulder heads wide. Root into the pointer finger pad, but continue to spin your triceps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your right foot to center, pick your left leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Squeeze your thigh bone back, your tailbone forward. Straighten your legs, square it off. Step your left foot forward, spin your back heel to the ground. Warrior one, come up. Right inner thigh wraps back, tailbone dives forward. Feel that lift through the side waist. And then bend your right elbow and turn that elbow toward you. It really does help to spin the right rib cage just a little bit forward. Inhale like this. Exhale, come forward halfway. Right hand to the earth, heart turning open. Little different in our transition here. Your left hand will come to the ground. Step to plank pose, pause. Lower your knees. See if you can cross your legs the awkward way to sit back. And take your legs forward. Inhale, lift up through your heart. Roll onto your back again. Exhale. Slowly, slowly coming back. Set your feet onto the ground. Inhale, lower. As you exhale, interlace your hands behind your head. Wait for this little Antara Kumbhaka inhale. And with that Uddiyana Bandha, exhale and curl forward. Twist to the left. Squeeze. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Squeeze. Inhale, center. Exhale, you might feel a little bit more connection now to your belly. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. So you can do this with your feet on the ground, or you can hug your knees into your chest. And as you kick your right leg forward, left elbow goes back, right hand to the inner knee, push the two together. Inhale, center, left hand to the right inner knee, left leg straight, and twist. So you're taking your twist and deepening it now by squeezing the inner knee with the opposite hand. Love this little abdominal fire that we build in this rotation. If your feet are on the ground, stay there. If you're in the twist, we just have one more. Right elbow back. Come to center, set your feet on the earth. Bridge pose, lift up. Tip your tailbone high. Shift your weight into your left foot. Take your right knee up. Maybe straighten the leg. As you exhale, lower your hips just 1/2 inch off the earth. And as you inhale, lift up. So it's only 3 of these. Maybe you're not lowering very much. Maybe it's too much with the right leg off the ground. Maybe you need to just keep both feet on the ground. Change sides. Right foot down, left knee or leg straight. Lower and lift 3 times. Up. 2. Last one. Tailbone is lengthening toward the back of the knee. Left foot down, lower down. Hug your knees into your chest curl. Rock up, again, cross the awkward way. Come forward onto your hands and knees. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round. Tuck your toes under, unwind into downward facing dog, press back. Find your center here. Center your left foot, right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Draw your tailbone up and open. You can stay here or drop into a wild thing, spinning your heart up. Pushing into the feet to tip the tailbone up. Through Vashisthasana, stack your feet. Bring your right hand to the ground. Spin to face the earth and take your right leg up again. This time, step your right foot forward. Warrior one, come up. Lift up. Hands to the heart. This is where the block can be optional and handy. Shift your weight forward, spin your back heel up. You can come into warrior three with your hands at your heart, or with your fingertips on a block. Point your left toes and spin the inner thigh toward the sky. So the inner thigh is spiraling up. Unlock your standing leg so you're not kicking the knee back. It's a little soft. And as you exhale, whether the hands are up or down, you're going to try to tap your left big toe to the earth. It's the same hamstrings that just helped you in bridge pose to bring your leg up. Tap down. Lift up. Tap down. Lift up. One more. Tap down. Lift up, hold. Bend your standing knee a little. Push into that foot to come up. Step your left foot onto the earth and bend your right knee up into your chest. Curtsy squat. That right foot steps back into the left. Come onto the ball of your foot, you're off your mat, and kick the knee forward to bring it down. So you can just step your right foot next to your left foot, or you can pick the knee up. Again, step back into the left, knee forward to bend, spine upright. Inhale, lift up. One more time, back and to the left, bend. Squeeze to lift up, hold. Twist to the right. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee and sweep your right arm back. Now you can keep your front knee bent, or you can start to straighten your front leg, but either way, you're sending that right hip crease toward the earth. Squeezing your chest back. A little bit of Uddiyana Bandha really helps. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Keep your chest facing the right, but release your left hand. Then open your right knee out and step your right foot back, bending into warrior two. Left palm faces up. Left elbow comes not to the top of the thigh, but to the inner thigh. So I'm going to turn to face you. Your left elbow's at your inner thigh, and you're pressing your elbow into that inner thigh to wake up that same inner thigh line. Sitting bone and knee squeeze forward. Right hand to the hip, pause. So this is a very slow movement. You're not pushing your left knee to the earth. You're picking your left sitting bone back and up. Maybe you don't even come all the way to straight. And then bend the knee forward. Squeeze left elbow into left thigh. Slowly lift the sitting bone. And then bend. One more time. Kick your heel back. And bend. Now slowly melt into triangle pose. Let your left hand come down. Reach your right arm up. Spin your palm to face back. And bend your elbow. So the flat of your hand, the back of your hand comes onto your sacrum. Press your right shoulder back, turn to look down. Drop your chin a little bit toward your left shoulder. Start to press that right shoulder head back. Stay looking down. Bend your left knee. Melt into your side angle. The hand can be on the ground, inside or outside of the foot. Bring your right arm up and then spin the right arm overhead. Then maybe turn the chest up and let the eyes follow. One more breath like this. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the inside of your left foot. Spin your left toes a little in, spin your right toes out in a wide squat. Inhale, so you're wider than your half malasana, but it's the same shape. Your fingertips pull back, your heels pull back, your spine comes forward. As you exhale, arms by the ears. Lighten up your toes, kick your heels back, and slowly bring your heart a little up. Try not to sit into your femur heads. Try to lift out of your femur heads so that you can lift up higher. And then driving your tailbone a little forward, pressing your knees a little back, come all the way upright. Push into the feet to straighten your legs. Hands to hips. Turn your left toes forward. Step to the top of your mat. Squeezing the midline, just stand for a moment in your Tadasana. Feel your feet on the earth. Lift into the top of your head. Simple Surya A to get to down dog. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bow forward. Lift up halfway, inhale. You may be choosing a modification, or you might be coming through Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha. Center your right foot, take your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Maybe you stay here, directing your tailbone away from your low back. Maybe you flip into a wild thing, turning your chest toward the sky. Bring your right shoulder head away from your ear. And slowly through your Vashisthasana, inhale. As you exhale, left hand to the ground, pulling hands toward the toes, plank pose to down dog. Square hips, left leg lifts. Step your left foot forward. Warrior one, come up. Reaching tall here. Hands to the heart. Shift your weight forward and pause. So you can feel that inner spiral of the back thigh. Pick the back heel up from that. Using the block or not, warrior three, lift up. Pointing the right toes. Try not to hang your pelvis on your leg bone, but lift your belly forward. There's that Uddiyana Bandha helping that action. Tap the big toe and lift. Lift from the inner thigh, tap and lift. The block is there if you need it. Tap and lift. And one more time, tap and lift. Unlock your left knee. Push strong into the heel to come up. Right knee high. Step your right foot to the ground and take your left knee up. Curtsy squat, left leg back into the right, knee forward. So the toes are off the mat. Inhale, the knee can come up, or it can step to the ground. Exhale across to the right. Inhale up. Exhale across. Inhale up. One more time. Come back. Lift up and hold. Twist to the left, bring your right hand to the outside of your thigh. So you can gently drag the thigh forward, twisting your left arm back. You can keep your knee bent or start to straighten your leg. Maybe you're halfway to straight, maybe you're all the way, but you're not hiking your hip up. You're letting it move down. Full breath. Bend the knee, release the arm. Hold the twist as you take your left leg back into a warrior two. Right elbow, not to the top of the thigh, but to the inner thigh. Left hand to hip. Squeeze elbow and inner thigh together. As you inhale, slowly pick your right sitting bone up. And as you exhale, bend the knee forward. So this isn't about straightening the leg. Continue to squeeze into that connection point of the right elbow. And then just explore how active this stretch can be. Slowly melting into your triangle pose. Bring your left arm up, spin the palm to face back. Push the hand back and bring the back of the palm to your low back. Drop your chin to your chest and then to your right shoulder. Start to press your left shoulder head back. Giving yourself this open spaciousness on the throat. So our hip flexors and our throat are related physically, neurologically, and energetically. Physically through the way that the muscles link in to the spine. Energetically through the chakras, both of which at the pelvis and the throat relate to our creativity and our expression. And neurologically through the parasympathetic nervous system. Bend your right knee. Sweep your left arm up and overhead. And as your right fingertips find some solid ground, maybe you can start to spin up and open, blossoming the throat center. And allowing that voice and that creativity to open to the sun. As you exhale, hands to the inside of the right foot, spin the toes in a little. Spin the left toes out a little. Inhale, hands to the thighs. As you exhale, drop your tailbone a little bit more. So you can stay right here. You can shift side to side. You can come back into an upright goddess pose, working kind of a lift through the top of your head, or we can go into this pumping of the wings. So full breath, opening and closing. And I encourage you to actually sit fairly low and breathe. So you're just pumping the heart here. You can use the breath, or you can keep your breath steady. Little blowing of the candle. We won't be here too long because the legs make it harder, right? Maybe about 20 more. Let your attention drop when it gets challenging. 10 more. 5, 4, pump. 3, 2, 1. Straighten your legs, parallel your feet. Turn your right toes forward. Step to the top of your mat. Just stand. Tadasana. Notice what in your system wants to lock. I bet it doesn't need to. Lift the column of your spine. Feel the energy at the shoulders and the neck, the pelvis, and the sacrum. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, bow into the earth. Come up halfway, and all you'll do here is step your left foot 3/4 of the way back. Turning the left toes out, walk your right foot a little to the right and fold in a pyramid pose, bringing your chin lightly toward your chest, wrapping your right hip crease back. I'd love to give you the option to stay here. If you have an inversion practice and you want to come upside down, you can keep your right foot forward, just walk your hands forward of your foot and try to kick up into a handstand. So a little bit of an inversion, optional. Otherwise you stay in your pyramid pose. And then slowly lift halfway. Block can come under the left hand. I sure love it. Parivrita Trikonasana, right arm to the sky. Lean your heart back. Wrap your right hip crease back. Shoulder blades move toward the rib cage behind the heart, but moving the rib cage back into the shoulder blades like the two hands closing in prayer. Feel the back of the heart expanding into that connection. Look down, drop your chin to your left shoulder. Keep pressing your right fingertips up. And as you exhale, release your right hand. Move the block a little to the side, step to plank pose, pause. Lower your knees. Cross your ankles, sit back. Okay, we're not coming onto our back, just take your legs forward and then fold, Paschimottanasana. Inner thighs wrap down. Little light Antara Kumbhaka. Little connection to Uddiyana Bandha. Stretching your upper back. Inhale, come upright. Dandasana, seated staff pose, so your spine is upright. Fingertips come next to you. As you exhale, just turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Press your left shoulder head a little back. Lift up through the column of your spine. Now, this is a deceptively challenging pose. The thigh bones aren't lifting your spine for you. You're pressing your legs down, lifting your low belly, and then bringing your right ear back more. Slowly bring your head to center, and then slowly look over your left shoulder. Left ear draws back, right shoulder head draws back. I know it's still dark. Try to explore your inner landscape there. With curiosity. Look forward. Cross your ankles. Come forward. Downward facing dog, draw back. Slowly walk your feet halfway to your hands. Bend your elbows, coming into Bakasana crow pose. Knees up into the upper arms, toes touch. Pulling your hands back. Bring your feet wide. Exhale, Malasana. Inhale, Ardha Malasana. Spin your toes in. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, toes spin out, Malasana. Optional, Bakasana crow pose. Optional to keep doing that little sequence we've already worked. You'll come into your half Malasana to inhale. Spin the toes in, exhale, fold. Rise all the way up, inhale. One more time, turn toes out, Malasana. Ardha Malasana, staying there, or Bakasana. Crow pose. Coming back into that halfway pose. Spin your toes in, Uttanasana. Come up halfway, And step your right foot 3/4 of the way back, turning the right toes open. Fold forward, drawing your chin into your chest. Wrap your left hip crease back. Optional to stay here, optional to look forward. Bring your hands a little in front of your toes and start to practice your inversion. So I like the fold today. But if you love that going upside down, it does bring an extra element of energy into the throat and the heart. Once you've found that, lift up halfway. Find the block if you need it, and lift your left arm open. Parivrita Trikonasana, leaning your heart back. Wrapping your left hip crease back. Stay there, drop your chin toward your bottom shoulder. Keep reaching your left fingertips up, curl your chin in. Take another breath. And as you exhale, fold. Move the block. Step into plank pose. This is the last time we're doing this. Lower your knees. Point your toes. We're not sitting back. You're going to touch your big toes together and your knees out. And then sit back into that space so your glutes can kind of find the soles of your feet. And then take your fingertips back. Pick up your tailbone and turn it forward. Adjust through your feet so that you have kind of a sitting bowl that you can rest your hips into. And if you can, come onto your elbows. And if you have a pillow and you don't really feel comfortable coming all the way onto your back, or if you have a bolster or whatever it is you are sitting on, you can come all the way back. Just know that you're going to have to come back up again, but this is a really deep opening for the psoas, which we've actually been already working this whole time. Only go so far back that you know you can lift back up. And we'll just take a moment here. Opening all of these deep energetic centers of creativity, of junction in the body. The places in the spine where that which regulates our relaxation, our curiosity, our spaciousness, opens and then courses through the body. Wherever you are, come up a notch. Come up another notch. Come up more. Cross your ankles. Move your prop out of the way. Take your legs forward. Inhale. Exhale, come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest really briefly here. And as you're ready, you can release your legs into your Shavasana, completely spacious at the whole front line. Dropping your hands open, dropping your toes open. Give yourself a moment to settle your arm bones into the ground. And even though you're letting go of the breathing practice, that Uddiyana Bandha, any holding in the breath, you can keep your attention soft at your throat and at that deep sacral junction. Like the two ends of a bridge anchoring our deepest communication along the spine open and free to communicate. Stay in your Shavasana, but drop your right ear to the earth. As though you could listen to that which supports you, behind you and under you. That which is invisible to your eyes, but nonetheless incredibly supportive. Can you relax your left shoulder? Turn to face the center and pause. Slowly drop your left ear toward the earth. Again, as though you could listen to that invisible support underneath you, behind you. Right shoulder relaxing as well. Turn back to face forward. Bend your knees, feet onto the ground. And rolling to one side, pause. Press yourself up to seated slowly. If you want to sit up on your cushion, you can do that. But for just a moment here, find that same connection to that which shines forward. Your legs, your hips, that which earths you, your glutes, your lower bones in your body, rooting, so that the spine can be open, so that the head can lift. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, honoring that open curiosity and that ability of you to create, to express, to communicate. Drop your chin to your chest. Lift your chin up, rub your palms, take a full breath. One hand and then the other over the heart, breathe it in. As you exhale, bow into all of yourself. And coming up, Hatha Yoga Anushasanam Yogas, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Here begins your practice. Namaste.